In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I bear witness there is no God but God, and God is the only one who has the right to be worshipped. I also bear witness that Prophet Moses, Prophet Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon them, are the messengers of God, and I seek refuge in Allah from the rejected Satan. So, I've got a lot of things to discuss in this video. We're going to be touching on the Schumann resonance, Ascension, preparing for Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, as well as preparing for the second coming of Jesus, the son of Mary, who is also Messiah and Mashiach as well. Um, um, but before we get into all that, I just want to give all thanks and praise to God. In my last video, in our combined efforts, we raise the Schumann resonance, as we all can affect the Schumann resonance depending upon our capacity. Some of us have more capacity than others, but we all can affect the Schumann resonance, as we do live in a cause and effect universe. So I just want to thank first and foremost Source, God, Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, who made that happen. But it was also through the law of cause and effect and our manifestation abilities, by raising our frequencies, that helped us achieve that. So I just want to give a thanks out to all of those who participated and embodied these divine truths and wisdoms to help these divine, in other words, these divine laws and commandments of the Most High, the highest forms of truth and wisdoms, and embodying these, which elevates our frequencies by our changing the way we think about things, the way we feel about things, and our actions in our day-to-day life can shift us into a higher vibration or a lower vibration. So by embodying these truths and wisdoms, we can elevate our frequency and also expand that out into the greater universe for all to have a little taste, so to speak. So let's get into some hadiths. So we got some hadiths. I mentioned this hadith last time. This is referring to Imam Mahdi the Mashiach. Also is discussing about illuminating the earth in this hadith. And is narrated by two of the companions of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and I'll put the sources in the description below. So this hadith goes, so when Imam Mahdi, will make his advent, so when he'll appear sometime in the future and start ascending, the earth will radiate with the celestial illumination of its Lord. So the earth will start radiating of godly energies, which I believe the Schumann resonance is picking up, especially with these solid whiteouts, or these solid white pillars that come down. These are coming from Source, coming from the Most High God, Allah. And the scales of justice will be positioned among mankind, such that not a single person will do injustice to another. Imam Mahdi will help bring justice, but also bring an illumination to the earth, which I believe is being experienced at this point with the increased raising of the Schumann resonance, which are like the brain waves of Earth. So I've got some Quran verses. Now, embodying these divine laws and commandments, these higher truths and wisdom, by embodying these, will help us ascend higher and higher. So that's why I incorporate these into these videos to help us prepare ourselves spiritually and physically, and in many different ways to prepare for what's to come, and not only in this world, but always as well as more importantly, the hereafter, which the hereafter is our spiritual life. This is our physical life, but in the hereafter is our spiritual life, which is a lot more long-lasting and a lot more grandiose, you could say. Chapter 50, verse 32, it'll be said, "Here is that paradise you were promised. It is for those who turn to their Lord again and again, seeking His mercy and observed His laws with care." So I put this in here that we should be have knowledge of the laws and commandments of the Most High, these higher truths and wisdoms, and then we should observe them with care. That we should implement what we can with ease. Don't try to force anything. try not to go so hard on your ego, but to try to implement things that you find easy. Maybe you find eating pure and healthy things easy to do. Maybe you find lowering your gaze easy to do. So there's lots of laws and commandments that Allah prescribes for us that will be highly beneficial for us, not only in this world but in the next. So we're going to go to chapter 50, verse 39. So bear with patience what they say and glorify your Lord with his praises and extol his holiness before the sunrise and sunset. So obviously bear with patience. Chapter 53, verse 22. So turn aside from him who turns away from our remembrance and seeks nothing but the present life. So turn aside from him who turns away from our remembrance. So people that don't remember God, and they also seek nothing but the present life. So people who are very materialistic, they don't look beyond this life into a hereafter or even in a reincarnation, and they don't remember God. They just solely fixated. Allah is saying to keep away from those people. And I got a hadith here that also mentions that Imam Mahdi Mashiach will also do that. This is narrated by Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and he said, "Congratulations to the person who meets the riser from my family's lineage," who he's referring to Imam Mahdi the Mashiach, "and has firm belief in him before his advent." So before he is well known, he will love for his friends, and he will distance himself from his enemies, and will love for the leaders of guidance who came before him. So, people who helped guide humanity before, predominantly the prophets and messengers that the Most High sent before. But interestingly, it says here that he will have love for his great love for his friends, but he'll distance himself from his enemies. So that's what Allah is saying here, to turn aside from him who turns away from our remembrance and seeks nothing but the present life. So I distance myself as much as possible from the governments of the world, from corrupt people, from dishonest people, people who don't remember God, and so forth and so on. So we're going to go to the next verse, chapter 52, verse 48. And this is referring to the prophet. "Prophet, await with patience and perseverance with the implementation of judgment of your Lord. You are under our loving care and protection." So Allah is saying to be patient and perseverance in the implementation of God's judgment upon the people. So even people who are acting corruptly in this world, well, there's cause and consequence, the law of cause and effect. Not only can be implemented in this world, but also in the hereafter, as you can be blessed with eternal gardens and eternal bliss in paradise, or you could experience, if you're a wicked soul, you could experience a hellfire, which is a punishment for the wicked sins and deeds that someone can accumulate. And this is a process of purifying the soul again from all its dross, from its impurities and maladies that it accumulated in its life. So it is a way to cleanse. The hellfire is a way to, even though it may be very painful and very very humiliating punishment, but it is necessary to purify souls and to rehabilitate them. So in this next verse, in chapter 49, verse 11, "O you who believe, let no people look down upon another people, for the latter people may be better than they, nor let women look down upon other women. The women who are treated lightly may be better than others." So it's just we shouldn't look down on other people depending on race, social status, where you've been, the things you've done. Because Source God, Allah, has a vantage point higher above than us all. He can see every person, can see every animal, every blade of grass, and every time point in history or in future. So God He has full control of everything, and is well aware of all things seen and unseen. So it's important to not look down upon other people or put people down. Obviously it's common sense and something that to embody to increase our vibrational states. So we're going to go to charity. So we know Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, is going to give lots of charity according to hadiths. And these are some famous hadiths that are very well known. In this hadith, it says, Al Mahdi is from my ummah, from the Muslims. He will be born and live to rule for approximately 5, 7, or 9 years. If one goes to him and says, give me a charity, he will fill one's garment with what he needs. In another hadith here, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, there would be a caliph, which is like a leader, Imam Mahdi, in the last period of my ummah, so last period of the Muslims, who will freely give handfuls of wealth to people without counting it. So Imam Mahdi will give out lots of charity. Anybody who approaches Imam Mahdi in the Mashiach, he will give out charity, he will give out wealth. He will give wealth not even counting it. He'll just hand it over, fill people's garments, give people handfuls of wealth in that time. And also in other hadiths that are narrated that people will even go out looking to give charity, but will not find anybody to give charity to, because everyone will have an abundance of wealth and will find there's no point of getting excess wealth, and people will not even accept charity in the time of Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach. So we're going to go look at some verses about charity in the Quran to help us embody more charitable vibrations in our souls and embody that. So we're going to go to chapter 2, verse 215. They question to you as to what they should spend to seek the pleasure of Allah. Say, whatever of good and abundant wealth you spend should be for parents, the near of kin, and the orphans, and the needy, and the wayfarer. And whatever you do, surely Allah knows it fully well. So Allah saying, for the highest pleasure of God, and obviously the wealth that you give in charity must be a good wealth. It has to be done in lawful means, which means like it has to be earned lawfully, not like if I was earning wealth through prostitution or the selling of toxins or selling of things that were going to harm other people knowingly. These are unlawful ways to accumulate one's livelihood. But if you have a lawful livelihood, say you're a tradesman or something like that, or your teacher, or a lot of different things that are very lawful. This is what Allah is referring to here, and to give to the parents, near families, the orphans, and the needy, and the travelers. We're going to go to another verse about charity. We're going to chapter 51, verse 19. And in their wealth and belongings was a rightful share for those who asked for help and for those who could not. So if we have enough wealth to take care of our own selves and our families, etc., we should have a portion of our wealth set aside for anybody who is needy, or somebody who is in need and maybe is too shy to ask for that. Chapter 35, verse 25, surely only those who follow the book of Allah and observe prayer and spend for the cause of Allah privately and in public out of that which they have provided for them hope a bargain which will never fail. So Allah is saying here, when giving out charity, to give it out privately and also publicly. So if you're just giving out publicly just to show off, to show that, just to show off to the public that you're so generous and you're so giving, well, that's not complete. You have to also give in private as well, secretly, that only one who knows is God himself. So just important to keep in mind, obviously God doesn't like those who are very prideful, very boastful, very haughty. Allah loves more those who are more humble, more pious, etc. So chapter 57, verse 11, who is he that will separate a handsome portion of his possessions to give in the cause of Allah? Let him remember he will increase it manifold to repay to him many times over. So when you do give out charity for the cause of Allah, you're not giving it out to show off, you're not giving it out for personal reasons, you're not giving it out for favors, you're actually giving it out for the Most High, God, the unique creator of all that exists, for his pleasure. God will increase that in manifold ways and will multiply that wealth back to you. Either it'll come back in this life or in the hereafter. We're going to go to chapter 46, verse 19. This is going to be talking about ranking. So that this is a cause and effect universe, and that we are ranked spiritually, as Allah says in chapter 46, verse 19. And all shall have positions of grades with their Lord according to the worth of their deeds, and that he may repay them fully for their deeds, and that they may not be treated unjustly. Allah says in chapter 39, verse 9, say, are those who know their obligations equal to those who know them not? Only those endowed with pure understanding do take heed. So it's very important that understand the law of cause and effect, that there is a ranking system according to God, according to our deeds, to our worth, to believing in God and doing righteous deeds. So there is a ranking system in the hereafter. Now things are obviously ranked differently here. The liars and the corrupted ones are put on pedestals, as we can see the way the hierarchy works in the government systems. But in the spiritual world and spiritual realm, the people who are more humble, they praise God, they do their prayers, they observe charities, they observe good deeds of all kinds, and which I discuss in my later videos. My earlier videos. So it's very important to keep that in mind, to have that understanding of divine laws of God, and to understand these commandments, so that we can raise our vibrations. So, Inshallah, I plan to make more videos of this kind to help us prepare for the coming of Imam Mahdi the Mashiach. This is just a little taste of what's to come for more videos, God willing. I intend to do more studying today and help raise the vibrations higher, inshallah, God willing. And I hope you help. I'll be putting these verses in the description box below. If you want to take a look at them, help and to embody them, as well as the hadiths of Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, God willing. So these are the techniques that I use to help raise my vibration. I sometimes listen to the Quran. Well, actually, I do quite a bit, especially when I'm at work. I will listen to either high frequency information, or I'll listen to the Quran at this time to help raise my vibrations, to help me embody these divine higher truths and wisdoms. Also, I am preparing a book, so in my book I'm also organizing all the divine laws and commandments that I find in the Quran, as well in my second book. I'll be doing that with the book of the Torah, the book that God gave to Moses. So that also helps me raise the vibrations, doing charitable acts, doing kind deeds to others, speaking in soft, gentle tones, stuff like that, embodying these things, these good characteristics, these good manners, really helps raise one's vibration. So these are all the kind of things that I do that I find effective, and we can see the proof in that in the Schumann resonance, God willing. And I hope you found this video very informative and inspirational, and I hope you will join me to help raise the Earth's frequency, to increase the light of God in this world. So thank you so much for watching. May the peace and blessings of God be with you. Thank you so much. Take care. Peace.